Don't tell me what to do.
I asked. In my defense, I asked.
Did you? Was there a question mark at the end of that?
I like to think there was.
I don't think there was.
Tonality might have said so.
I mean,
Or this is an alternate reality, and I am a figment of your imagination.
we are living currently in a simulation.
This is the Matrix.
We will be woken up one day by our robot overlords to escape our battery cells that we are occupying. So,
Yeah, as long as it's not like the Matrix where I wake up in like that pink cum. Like
I hope it's pink cum of any color, really. But welcome to the Lousy Show. My name is Sam.
I'm Joe.
And that's how we start this shit off.
Just what the fuck? Well, hey, you know what? I think that anybody telling anybody that we live in a simulation could be either good, but probably terrible.
Probably
life advice.
I need the cheat codes though.
Yeah, I want that like up, down, down, A, B, A, B. Was it select start?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go Contra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what was the one? There was infinite ammo glitch or glitch. Infinite ammo.
I don't know if I can find my like GTA from the PS
That's
to
the books.
the box. So because I wrote down all the fucking cheat codes on there because I went to Walmart and my parents wouldn't let me buy the book, so I had to write them down real quick.
I remember back in the day, and I promise this will tie in. I remember back in the day when we would go to when we worked there. Even they would sell books, those fat books with like codes. Like the cheat codes for every single game. And this is, of course, when the internet got hopping and we went, I can get those for free.
Yeah.
Or if you had a giga brain, you walked in and went, okay, that's a combination. Okay, cool. Sit the book down, walk out of the store, write it on a piece of paper, and then leave. So, but that was back in like the early 2000s, 2010s. And back then that would have been great life advice. But today we're going to give you some lousy life advice.
Terrible. Just the worst.
For the 2020s.
Yep.
And I think that I might have a couple.
I'll say this is more kind of your idea on this one. So so I'll let you start us off there, buddy.
Yeah. Now I want to disclaimer this. The last time we gave any advice, you called me out.
What?
You called me out.
No
way. You called me out because as being a lousy show as we are, we have to give semi-decent advice in some cases. And apparently I was too heinous at the beginning of our dating advice episode. I was saying things like, don't pull out. and you went, you're a little extra right now, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah, you were feeling it.
I was. So I'm not going to let off the gas, bitches. Ha! Anyways.
First piece of advice. You're on the bridge. Jump.
God damn. Anyways. No, life advice. Life advice, I think, is important. I think this is good for people. I think this is good to target more people in the 20s, in my opinion.
Anybody, everybody.
Yeah, but I think also for like young adults who are just getting started. This is not for teenagers. You should not be watching this. If your parents are watching this, make sure they're watching and not you. Go watch your Paw Patrol, you little shits. And we're gonna help out your parents.
Did you say teenagers?
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe there's some bronies out there watching some. My Little Pony is they're like 15 years old, guzzling some G Fuel while they're trying to hit a clip on Rocket League. Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is we're gonna offer some great advice today.
Great.
Yes.
Yep.
Starting with
asterisk, not actually great.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is where you get to decide. So the other day, I'm going to start this off with something that actually happened to me, and I'm going to say this, and I feel like this is something that should be common knowledge, but a lot of people are always second guess it, and it's something dealing with you.
Him?
You.
Oh, me. Okay.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
That is first thing. Always trust your gut. Okay, that is actually good life advice. You're going to understand why in a moment. I am what I like to refer to as an audio slut. I love audio equipment. I
Yep.
love understanding audio equipment. Shout out to the many years of you and I learning from one of the greatest minds in audio. And that is really where I got my love for it. And it kind of kicked off from there, going more into music stuff. But lately, as we've been doing this and live streaming and things like that, it's evolved, understanding more than just the equipment, but understanding like how the equipment operates. How does audio work? How does my voice sound clean going in, coming to you, all that kind of thing there.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, recently I went through a little bit of a stint where I'm having to jump through hoops to be able to get my money back. Why? Because I went to this man
Yep.
and asked for an opinion, and I deep down knew that I should have gone the other direction. Not because you were wrong, not because you are a bad advice giver or had a bad opinion.
So you need to do some,
but
catching
more,
up here.
but more so because I knew what I should have gone with initially.
That's fair. Okay.
And what I mean by that, I'll give a little bit of detail for any gearheads out there. If you're not a gearhead, I'll try and put it at a level in which you would understand. Not saying you're dumb, just saying like it's a lot. There's a product called the Rode podcast, or actually, well, we have one right here. This is the Rodecaster Pro 2 for anybody who can see this in the camera. Down here, the Rodecaster Pro 2. Rode, you're awesome.
Good shit.
You're awesome.
Also Rode Pod mics. So
You're awesome.
Yep.
Sponsor us. Okay. I was using that in my streaming setup, and you use what is called Beacon.
Yep.
Now, would you like to quickly tell the people where Beacon comes from?
So Beacon, if you're into like streaming and stuff, there's a really popular piece of equipment there called the Go XLR.
Which was produced by TC Helicon.
Well, yeah, which is a company called TC Helicon. The people that actually worked in TC Helicon that made the Go XLR since left and started their own thing, the Beacon, which is a piece of hardware that controls volume and audio and everything, and then a microphone as well. Got rave reviews when it was initially coming out. Software was a little buggy, but software is as software does, and that's something that can be fixed over time.
Yes.
I was looking to downsize because I no longer stream or anything. This is really the only content creation that I do.
Yes.
And so I was just looking for a smaller, simpler setup on my desk. It wasn't taking up so much room because the Rode and the Go XLR both are big.
Yes. So this is a chonky boy right here.
Yep. And so I was like, fuck it. It looks cool. It's small. I want to give it a shot. I've had nothing but success with that thing. It's been totally fine for me, with the exception of like every time I shut down the computer, it won't save the profile, but that's a very minor thing. I'm not really worried about that. I have to manually save the profile. Big deal. So based off of my experience for the last few months of owning it, when you came to me asking for a recommendation, I said, hey, it's been doing great for me.
Yeah.
And like the audio, like the tools they give you to EQ yourself, or how bassy or sharp your voice sounds, is incredible. It's honestly second to none so far that I've seen as far as that. Now, I haven't used the podcast or the Broadcaster myself, but which I'm sure is very good. But it's been a really good setup for me.
Yep.
And so you bought one based off of my recommendation.
I did. As a matter of fact, Prime Day was last month, and I went ahead and said, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and get the hour as recording last month. And I said, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and get that. It was on sale, the mic and the Mix Create, which they had the Mix and the Mix Create. The Mix is a smaller version, screen, 4 knobs. Mix Create has this little nub, like a little thumb at the end of it for you to switch between channels or between pages. So I said, cool, let me do that. Now, part of me in my gut said, wait. Part of me in my gut said, you need to get what you're used to, because I don't like USB microphones.
Yeah.
I don't like the digital aspect to them. I'm not saying they're cheap. I'm not saying it's a cheat way of doing things, but I am old school.
Yeah.
Give me some analog. Give me some good, physical cable XLR action here, thick, chunky boy. I'm going to feel better in that realm because that's what I know.
Yeah.
And when I saw the software, I was like, okay, well, the software's intuitive enough. And I'll give them this. The software, mint. Fantastic software as far as teaching someone.
Yeah.
Until I got it.
Yep.
Now, the reason I did not get the Duo was because the mic and the Mix Create together were $100 less than the Rodecaster Duo, which is a smaller version of the Pro 2. And I said, okay, I can save money. Nope. Spend that extra $100.
Yeah.
Why? Because when I got those two things, from the point in time in receiving them and setting them up to the point in time which I had sent them back, I have had more software issues.
Why are you hitting the table so much?
It's points. I have had so many software issues to the point in which I would literally be live and my audio system entirely would stop.
Yeah.
And you even were like, I have no idea why this is happening. This has never happened to me. But you saw like it was a legitimate thing. Like I could understand if I was just getting mad because I'm like, oh, it's not what I'm used to. Nah. Yeah. No, I had reasons.
Yeah.
Even the tech support guy who was helping me at Beacon, bless his heart, Mans was Googling his ass off. I know he was because the same stuff he was telling me was the exact same stuff I'd been reading on Google already.
Yeah.
Like everything he told me to do, the only thing that was different was he told me to do a BIOS update, which I didn't fix a damn thing.
Yeah.
So what am I having to do now? I'm having to jump through hurdles just to get my money back from Amazon to make sure I can put that towards the Duo that I had to purchase to make sure I had an appropriate streaming setup, which I did get the Duo, got the last one that we had in town here in Austin, which is a crazy thing because all the other ones are on back order all the way until the end of August. Yep. So depending on when this comes out, it could still be on back order. Who knows? But trust your gut. My gut told me at that time just to get the Duo, just to go ahead and buy it because at that time they still had some ready. Like they had some for sale.
Yeah.
I think it was like the last units of that batch before the new ones came out. And I didn't go with it. Trust your gut. Every single time. If your gut tells you something's bad, figure out why it's bad. If your gut tells you to go a certain direction, go that direction. If your gut tells you to eat steak over chicken, eat steak. Like there's a reason your gut's telling you to do that.
Yeah.
Your intuition, your brain, your connection, the whole whatever, your body's telling you something for a reason, do it. Like just you got to trust yourself. Like trusting your gut it will save so many headaches. I've talked to Amazon customer service more than I've wanted to in the last few days. I've dealt with more tech issues than I wanted to in the last few weeks. And, now that I have the Duo set up, knock on wood, that it's going well.
Kind of would.
Just.
It's all IKEA.
Yeah. But, yes, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Now, sir, do you have any good life advice that you could put on the people?
I mean, trust your gut's always kind of the go-to for us. I mean, I'll be honest, I really I don't.
Okay. Well,
I can't think of anything.
Well, I have a second one I think you'll agree with.
All right.
And this is more financial. I think this is something that we have learned in our wise old age of 31. Especially if you're in your 20s or if you're in your late teens. Hell, even if you're a teenager, listen to this. It's very important. I'm going to dumb this down into one simple sentence. Debit cards are evil. Okay? And I'm going to explain why. For the longest kind of time, I mean, for most of my 20s, I always thought credit cards were horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrifying things because it's the way they're going to keep you chained down. They're going to you got credit, you got to pay them on.
Yeah.
No. I have five credit cards to my name, all that I've gotten in my 30s.
Yeah.
Reason is because if you have lines of credit, that's how you're able to easily purchase things anywhere. Now, I don't mean that you have free money.
Yeah.
What I mean is I just went and bought a 2023 Mini Cooper. I've never bought a new car in my life.
Yeah.
Never had the credit to do it. They looked at my credit and was like, oh, this guy's successfully paying off 4 different credit cards? Shit. Okay. Boom. I walked on the lot, an hour later, left with that car.
Yeah.
Like, gone. I've never had that happen in my life. I've had more issues with trying to purchase vehicles where it's a multi-day process than I have just being able to walk in and buy a car and leave.
Yeah.
And that has come down to credit. Credit cards will save your life. What you need to do is simply this: get you a good credit card, decent limit. You can contact the banks that it's through and talk to them about a credit limit and explain to them why you want the limit you do. Typically, it's going to be for purposes like, okay, I want to be able to pay my bills with this. So that way I can, pay, and then pay it off with my debit card and then continue to use it as such over and over and over again. That is so very important because that credit's going to continuously build history for you to use at later dates, whether you want to go buy a vehicle, whether you want to take a line of credit out to buy a guitar, or you want to take a line of credit out to, I don't know, buy a boat, buy a house, buy whatever. That credit history showing that you are so well presented within that portfolio, if you will, is massive.
Yeah.
Credit cards are fantastic. Now, I will say this. There are some credit cards out there. Please stay away from.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Well, and I think we need to also state that while, yes, credit cards are good, there's a lot of different things that you need to factor in for those to where, like, just don't go out and get a credit card and just start spending,
Correct. It's not free money.
No, it's not free money. The big thing, keep it under 30% of the overall limit.
Actually, there's something to that.
There can be, yeah. But
I would like to give a caveat on that real quick. 30% if you are keeping it stale, like if it's stagnant. If the spend on that is like, if you make one big purchase, pay it under that 30%. Because if your credit card just kind of sits there and you only use it for big purchases, keep it under 30%. If you are using this religiously, where it's up, down, up, down,
if you're
up,
just paying
down,
it off,
yes, then that 30% mark is good for, like, again, later on. But right now, like, if I'm using my card for like up down purchases where I'm consistently paying it off after I make those purchases, the banks are looking at it going, oh, great, this guy's got great history in paying this stuff off. Awesome.
Of course.
So keeping that in mind, that is, like, there are rules into this, but as far as like for big purchases like that, absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, if you have it sit there, that's a huge part of your credit. So you got to be very, very careful with that.
Yep.
And I mean, usually, like, and if you're just now getting into credit cards and everything like that, usually what I recommend is like get one, even if it's a lower limit, just start like putting gas on it and paying it off immediately.
Exactly.
And then once you get like 6 months to a year of history, then apply for like a bigger limit one, or just ask for a credit limit increase.
Yes.
One of the two, because that's usually a way to get into it. And then once your credit score starts going up, then you can do a lot of really cool things with it. So but be very careful, because I was not careful in my early 20s.
Same. And I'll even I have no problem. I'm going to open book. I'll use me as an example here. It was when you and I were roommates, and we had this swanky ass brand new apartment. Like we were the first people to live in that apartment, and we were furnishing our bedrooms. And I even told you, I was like, it's time for me to go buy a computer. I think it's time for me to get into PC gaming. And instead of me buying a tower like a smart person, I went and bought a laptop. Well, I went to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Don't go to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Just trust me. But I go to Best Buy. You went with me. We found a laptop. Worked well for what I needed. Never gamed on it. Gamed on it once, I think. Maybe. Tops.
Well, like Xbox was definitely way bigger at the time, too.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes sense.
But it got the laptop. What did I do? Oh, well, I don't have the money to pay for it today. Let me see if I can get a credit card. Immediately got approved for like a $2,500, amount.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah. So what did I do? I got the laptop. I got the bag. I got the essentials. I got all the stuff with it. As a matter of fact, that bag is still in my son's closet. He uses it to carry around his books. So, and mind you, this was a decade ago.
Yeah.
So I got all that. And then a couple months later, I think this is right when the new Xbox at the time, the Xbox One, came out.
Yeah.
And you got one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I got to get one. I got to be able to game with the homies. What happened? I have the Best Buy credit card.
Yeah.
I still have a bunch of room on it. And what I do? Went to Best Buy. Boom. Got the Xbox. Boom. Got some games. Boom. Got an extra controller. Boom. Peripherals. Boom. Headset. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then a few months went by. And I remember to the day, it was January 2nd. I was hanging out at my uncle's house. Phone starts ringing. Weird number. I've never seen it before. Step outside. Hello, this is Joe. Hi, yeah, this is such and such with such and such, credit or whatever. Calling to speak to such and or call and speak to Joe. Yep, this is me. I hadn't paid my balance in 8 months. And that interest had tacked on. And on top of that, because a lot of these places, they'll tell you, oh, it's zero interest for 24 months, right?
Yeah.
If you read the fine print, if you miss a payment, it hits immediately. And it's retroactive.
Yep.
So all that interest tacked on, I owed Best Buy $3,000. Yeah. And they were like, so here's what we're going to do. Because Best Buy apparently wants their money and they will take you to court for it. So they immediately were like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to offer you this one time. You can either set up a payment plan on a 2, 3, or 6 month probation, or you can pay it all today. If you pay it all today, we'll give you a defining sum. Like I think it was I paid it today, paid it that day. They were going to slash it in half, $1,500, which this will be life advice I'll give you in a second for anybody out there trying to get out of debt. They were going to do that, or then it was like X amount tacked on per whatever payment plan I went with. And they said, but if you don't make a payment today, you will be summoned to court to go against Best Buy's lawyers.
Oof.
And I went, oh. So I got the 6 month payment. Like, I don't have $1,500 laying around the time. Got the 6 month plan. Tell you right now, that payment coming out every month hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt. For that 6 months, your boy was living on ramen. Yeah. But yeah, like it's not free money.
No.
It's not. You have to be smart with it. Like I am consistently checking our credit cards to make sure, like, okay, payments are made, everything's good, we got room, everything, money's here, da 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 da. Here's where I'm making payments next time they're around, so on and so forth. Like that's important to have that. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this so far. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any listening sites. Make sure to go follow us on there as well. And also, if you're watching the video, drop us a like and share it to your friends who might want some lousy advice as well. If you have any at all lousy advice that you want from us or any lousy ideas that you'd like us to cover, drop it in the actual comments down below or send it to us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us there anytime with any ideas you have. Back to the show. But credit cards, massive. This goes to life advice number 3, more financial advice. If you're in debt and credit collectors are knocking at your door, okay, you have more power than you think you do. That is something always to remember.
Yep.
When a debt collector calls you, and I'm no better than anybody else. I've had debt collectors call me before.
Yep.
We're humans. Whatever. I was stupid with money, and I have no problem saying that. I'm smart now, so that's why I'm fuck you. I'm smart now, and I like to think that, and I will say that I would like to give the advice I can to people who don't know. But you have a lot more power than you think with debt collectors, because when they call you, all they did was they purchase a lump of people, like from a company. They'll go to these companies and say, okay, hey, we're going to purchase these debts from you, right? At a value in which we see fit. Okay. Once we purchase them, we're going to call them to get our money back. But here's the best part. They purchase them at low value.
Oh yeah. It's pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because all these companies want is just to get money.
Yeah.
They just want to get this money back.
Well, because Best Buy will like write that off, and so they'll like get a little bit that they can now, write off the rest, and so they're still lost.
They're
money,
still
but just
well. I wouldn't say they
much.
lost money. They typically come out even, based on wholesale value, things like that. Like when you do the math of it, it's typically coming out close to even.
Yeah.
So these debt collectors are buying things on the low, like they're like you said, pennies on the dollar. When they call you, their job is to get that money back. Yep. So what they have in front of them is a file that says your name, where you bought the stuff from, what you purchased, and then typically how much it was. And they're going to try and get that full value out of you. Why? Because let's say you bought something for $1,000, right? If you bought something for $1,000 and they bought your account for $200, they're making $800 profit.
Yeah.
If you pay that full $1,000 back. But here's where you go, okay, hold on a second. As long as you keep a level head on your shoulders, you go, okay, hey, no, I appreciate that. I can't make that payment today. Is there any way we can like work on something to maybe reduce that? I can make a payment today as such. You might even be able to talk them down to half.
If sometimes even lower. I've heard some crazy success stories where it's like been like a $2,000 balance and they've paid like $500.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I think there was one I had. It was a medical one. It was a medical one. Actually, no, as a matter of fact, it was for my tonsils. I've never told this story on here before. Very briefly, when I moved to Texas, it was like I had surgery on my tonsils, and then we moved to Texas for my work, and I hadn't heard from them at all.
Yeah.
My forwarding address just wasn't sending anything. It was a big old fucking mix up, whatever. So because there was a mix up, not on my end, when I got the call from the debt collectors, they were like, "Hey, you owe us about $2,500." I was like, "Huh?" Like, because I had made a big payment on that, thinking I was good. I made a prepayment that they had quoted me on.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, what?" So the debt collector's talking to me, and I was like, "Well, let me contact the doctors first. Let me make sure like what's going on there." So I called them, talked to the medical company, that side of things, that branch. They were like, "Oh yeah, well we had this payment, but this is how much you had left over because of these X things." And it wasn't even as much as the debt collectors were trying to ask for. They were just trying to set an amount. And so when I called the debt collector back, I was like, because they told me that I had to send it to them in order to clear it. I called the debt collector back and I was like, "Hey, I talked to them, got it all figured out. I was told I had to make a payment through you all. Here's what I can do today. I can give you, I think I said like $300. I was like, I can give you $300 a day. I know how much they were needing. This is the mix up I had where my mail got thrown around. Like, explain to them. And they're like, well, give us a second. They came back like, all right, cool. Can you pay 300? Yep, cool, done, finished.
Yeah.
Like there was no question about it. Their job is solely just to get money.
Yeah.
They're not bad people. They're not angry people. They're just calling you because they had your name come across their desk. They're making a call to make sure they can get some money out of you to pay the debts that they purchased. That's it.
And they probably make a percentage or something.
Absolutely. I would, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine with me. And again, I get the business behind it. I'm not saying it's bad business. I'm just saying keep a level head because you can work with them.
Yeah.
A lot of people think debt collectors are just horrible people. They're really not. They're just doing their job.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's a debt collector company. Usually people have a problem with.
fair. But I mean, but again, if you keep a level head on that, you can work so well around that. Their job is solely to just get a payment out of you. If you can talk low enough, like, and sometimes you say, hey, if you say, hey, can we make a deal today? I'd be more than happy to pay that. They'll talk to you about what you can do.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, if you say, like, okay, well, I can't make that big of a payment today, but can we split that into 2 payments? They'll probably be like, yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
We'll you pay this month. You put a card on file so they can auto draft it, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to auto draft those 2 payments. That's it. And call it a day. And so, like, remember life advice number 3. There's always a way to help yourself and the collectors out there. Just keep a level head on your shoulders and talk to them. They're just doing their job. So, in my opinion, but I'm trying to think of any other good life advice to give right now. There's always the good one of don't never eat shredded wheat. Or no, that was a compass.
That is a compass, yeah, which does generally give you direction in life. So
it does.
Yep.
It does.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It's always a good one.
Now we're just throwing out school shit.
Yeah.
Wait, how fast have we gone through this episode? How are we on time? We're at 30 minutes. Okay,
Yeah, just about 30. Yeah.
I'll give one more before we go.
Okay.
And I think this is more. I think it's more just general. I feel like people would know this regardless, but I think this is something that we often forget. And it's something that I've kind of had to remember myself too over these last few days. So you plugged me a couple episodes ago, so I'm going to say this. Yes, I live stream. No, I'm not going to tell you the channel because it's not my place to do so. I promised him I wouldn't do that on the show. But what I will say is this. I challenged myself to 30 days straight. Life advice number 4. Final advice for today. Something I think that everybody should remind themselves of. If you need to, write words of affirmation of this on your mirror, whatever you need to do. But remember this. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. And what I mean by that is this. Oftentimes we find ourselves in situations of, I don't know, hardship, downtimes, situations which we feel like we can't get out of. Or there's just a mountain in front of us and we've been challenged and we feel like, oh, well, I don't know if I can actually climb that mountain. You can do it.
Yeah.
I say that, and I know it might not sound like much, but streaming 30 days straight has been one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because for 30 days straight, I've had to balance everything. I've had to balance family.
Yeah.
I've had to balance work.
You haven't had a day off.
I have not had a day off. I have been working every single day for these. I mean, I'm coming up on 30 days. I think it'd be like As of recording this, my 30th day will be Tuesday, and this is Saturday.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a day off. And I think the biggest thing that's taught me is I can accomplish anything I set my mind to. I'm already a headstrong individual as it is.
What?
That's crazy. But going into this, I felt like it was more of a telling myself, not telling anybody else I could do it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a full-time content creator. I want to be able to sit here and do this,
Yeah.
2 to 3 days a week where we can record and edit and do all the good stuff and put out content consistently. I want to be able to stream. I want to be able to make other content for my own channels. I want to be able to do all this fun stuff. But I need to get past those mental hurdles of like, if I need to do this for 30 days straight, can I do it? If I need to rely on that, can I do this? And it has been eye-opening at what I can accomplish.
Yeah.
It's been eye-opening to recognize that I kind of brainwashed myself into trying to please the public and not please myself. What I mean by that is creating the content that I enjoy while still maintaining a good viewership across the board. I love podcasting. I love being able to sit down with you every week and we bang out episodes. We talk, we laugh, we joke,
Then we bang.
and then we bone afterwards. Check the OF link.
Yep. Jones interaction.
Premium content.
Premium.
Consistency. But like I enjoy that and I want to be able to do that full time. But the biggest hurdle for me was recognizing like, can I do this? Can I do this if I need to?
Yeah.
It's been tough. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Like
Yeah.
Next weekend, your boy's relaxing.
Yeah, you just need to like take a week off after that.
Yeah. But like I feel like I've been able to prove to myself that I can do it. I've been able to prove to myself that I can have fun gaming again. I can have fun doing what I want to do on my stream and not feel like I have to do specific kind of content for people to show up because that's what they want. Like if they're going to want to watch you, they're going to want to watch you. I have to remind myself of the rule that I had. And the same people when we're doing this for anybody at home is if it's our job to make content for people who want to watch content.
Yeah.
It is not our job to make content for everyone. Mm-hmm. Anybody who shows up and watches us, it's our job to entertain them.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this right now and this is a bit more of a, I guess, a more serious episode, but it's our job to entertain you. It's our job to make sure that everyone at home, don't you fall.
This went back a lot further than I thought it was
Yeah.
going to.
But it's our job. It's our job to do that. It's our job to maintain that each episode we do, whether it is comedic or serious. It is not our job to go out and try and hook the billions of people around the world.
No, that's unrealistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I had to teach myself
Okay.
because I was in a brainwashed state of mind of it is my job to hook every single person around the world. I have to get them in. I have to get them to watch. I have to get that viewership up. No, I don't. I just need to have content that I enjoy and have fun with and allow my streams to do what I said they were going to do, which is be that secondary side of things. Like not my primary mode of this full-time content creation.
Yeah.
I want my full-time stuff to be like this. I want my full-time stuff to be YouTube videos I create. I want my full-time stuff to be exterior to that. And that's what I had to teach myself in those 30 days. But this all rounds back to recognizing you can accomplish that.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. Sit down, and no matter what it is, sit down and think about the plan. Sit down and think about how you're going to execute said plan. Go back and check the plan one more time, and then throw the fucking plan out the window and just go get it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there was no plan me going into the 30 days. It was me going, okay, I'm going to figure this out on the fly. I have to, because that's kind of what streaming is. You can have a schedule.
Yeah.
But within that schedule, things are going to change. Mm-hmm. There were some nights that I was supposed to, play Rust. Ended up playing Farlight with you, or ended up playing something else, or ended up just talking for a couple hours. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Just do it. Mm-hmm. Stop thinking you have to have this constructed, prism that you live in. No, get out of that. Like
strong Shia LaBeouf energy from you right now. All right, just going out there, just
Do it. But it's true. It
don't
really
let
is.
your dreams be dreams. Like, I mean, he honestly, like, as much as that thing was memed, it was sound advice.
It
Like,
was.
You know, it was just fucking go out there, get it, go do it, and just see what happens. I mean, if anything, you're gonna at least have fun doing it. Usually,
Yeah, you'll learn. Yeah. You'll learn. You'll have fun, and that's what this is all about too.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. Is I think even if people who make serious content, people who make everything outside of comedic content, people are still having fun with it.
Yeah,
because it's what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, and even with this, like, nobody could watch, and I'd still want to do this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because it's just fun to do, you
Yeah.
know? It's fun to just sit down, we'd watch goofy commercials or, you know, buy stupid shit off of wish.com or
Yep.
have a more serious moment where we're talking about, you know, husband advice, dating advice, or now life advice.
Yes.
And it's just fun, you know? It's
Yeah.
fun to hang out with my homie. You know, that's
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
You know? So,
And I think that's one of the biggest things that people need to recognize is you can do it, you can have fun with it, just maintain that level of mindset towards it, and
Yeah.
you'll be perfectly fine. So, but that's life advice. I don't know if we'll do a continuation of this because life advice is kind of like, I guess it'll hit us as we go.
well, it's super broad because, you
is.
know, like the last bits of advice have been rather niche and, yeah, a lot more targeted.
Yeah.
This one's a lot more broad. That being said, if there's anything that you'd want some advice on or, you know, just kind of want our takes on, definitely drop it down in the comments below. If not, just fucking put an emoji like you say, you know.
Yeah.
Like we want a conversation down there. That's all we're really looking for. But
Yeah.
we'd love to continue on with this.
Or
if
you don't want to drop it down in the comments, you can absolutely email us if you want advice on something. We'll be more than happy to talk about it. Email us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. Future Sam. There you go. Yeah, I think do that for sure. Send it to us. But like Sam said, to echo that point, if you don't have anything you want to say in the comments, drop an emoji because engagement. YouTube likes that kind of stuff, and so do we.
because we're married
To the game.
and each other. Anyway,
But yes,
Check the
there's a subscribe button behind me. Go click that. And then there's a like button down below. Click that. If you're listening on any listening sites, hit the follow button. And we will see you in the next one.
peace.
Later.